because Neil is kind of talking to him, but not really much going in there.
So who are the officers that are there?
When I got there, I was the third officer on scene.
Okay.
Officer David Neal and Adam Torres were on scene.
Okay. And am I correct that if you come straight down the hill, the house
straight,
is
right there.
the town is right in front of you?
Torres is on the left, like in the front yard.
Okay.
And Neil was kind of like on the sidewalk, on the edge of the grass, like it was like a V. Like here he is, and then here's Torres, and here's Neil.
Okay.
And the guy's in the door. And I said that
describe to me how
he has a white screen door with a screen.
Okay.
And he's inside the screen door.
Okay.
But I could see his hands up. Because they had ordered, I guess that's something they told him to keep his hands up, and he was talking to them through the screen.
Is there a full door too, like a hard door? Can you ever see that?
No, the hard door's in the back. It's open.
Okay, so the hard door's open full, and the screen door.
And the hard door was yellow. Looked like it was yellow, but the screen door was white and like black in the screen. And you know what? It was a full screen door because you could actually see his shorts and everything. It wasn't one of those where it's just screen. Because that would be real bad. Because it was a screen door where you could see the top, and you could see. I think he had shorts on.
Right.
You could see his feet. You could see his legs.
What? And you said his hands are up where?
His hands are like here's the screen. His hands are on the screen, like this. And he's talking to him through the door. Is
the screen door closed?
At times it opens a little bit and it's closed. Like he would open it sometimes like about that much.
Okay.
In the course of talking.
Okay, and are you able to communicate with Torres, or do you learn more about what's going on?
Well, I kind of because I'm just here to cover for them. I didn't had no intentions or talking at the time when I got up. Torres wasn't really saying anything. Okay. David was saying something. I don't recall what he was saying. Like, hey, come out, whatever. Come, the guy. So I got there and I kind of waited, and it kind of like, David knew he was talking, but then I was like, I said, David, do you mind if I? And I said, hey, I'm Officer Barnes. I said, hey, I'm also a hostage negotiator, crisis negotiator. I said, hey, he said, what's your first name, Officer Barnes? I said, Rodney. He said, can I call you Rodney? I said, sure. And I said, what's your name? He said, I'm John. And so then the conversation, then for some reason, I cannot remember, that David went next door, I guess to talk. Somebody had maybe said something on the radio, so it just left me and Torres there. Okay. But then shortly after that, I don't know if David had moved yet, but I could hear Parker was there. Parker gets on scene, he got his rifle, and then Kushner gets there, and Kushner he took a position, and Parker took a position.
Okay.
And then I'm talking to him, and so it was just me and him talking.
All right.
And at that point, nobody else was talking to him.
Okay. And what do you, other than what you hear on the radio?
It was radio check the whole time. I mean, different people like Lieutenant Joker was saying stuff when they got down there, and a couple of times Torres, we're at gunpoint. Torres got to get on the radio while we're at gunpoint with this guy, talking to whoever.
Right. And what the communication between you and this guy? What is that?
For us, I just told him we're talking. I said, hey, we don't want anybody to get hurt. And he seemed to like talking to me, but he wanted a couple of times he wanted Torres not to point the gun right at him. And
like, what was he saying? How do we know that?
What do you mean?
Like, what was he? You said that he didn't want Torres.
Right, when we got there, we had the gun. He said, hey guys, nobody's gonna get hurt here. I don't have a gun in my hand, and I don't know every exact word. He said, hey, can you not point that gun at me? Can you get officer or whatever to lower his gun? And he was getting a little irritated, and I said, hey, well, we can't like drop our guns, but I did convince Torres to take it down to ready guns,
Right.
And we're talking, he seemed to be okay with that several times. And then the rifle, like Ben was out there with his rifle. Ben he was on him. He lowered it, but from that distance, it wasn't really low. It was down.
Right.
He just seemed to he said, some pregnant lady. You know, people were starting to come home. He didn't want them. You know, they don't need to see this. And you know, I was like, hey, you know, we don't want anybody to get hurt. He said, well, I know my rights. You can't come in the house. And I said, hey, you know, we ain't got no reason to come in your house. I said, you know, several times I was trying to get him to, hey, can you, you know, he was saying, I know if I reach down or drop my hands, I could get shot. I said, hey, nobody's going to shoot you if you just do it.
At what point did he say that?
He said that he started to tell me, like, he knew, like, our procedures. Like, you know, I know that if I drop my hand, I'm going to get shot. He said that to him several times. But what I'm not, and a couple of times he needed to scratch his nose, he would say, hey, I'm going to scratch my nose. And he would slowly take his hand and scratch his nose. And one time he said, can I get my phone? It's in my front left pocket. But he had like a polo shirt on. It was a little longer. I said, no, just don't reach. He said, what if I reach? I said, listen, don't reach. We don't want you to reach in your pocket. He said, well, can I just put my hand in my pocket? I said, no, please don't. And he didn't. He didn't do it. He said, do you mind if I just... He opened the door and said, can I just, because he was getting tired, he said, can I just put my hand over the top of the door? You know, like, he had the door open a little bit out, and he just caressed, you know, that kind of helped you. Right. And he moved around to kind of hold him. So I let him, I said, yeah, sure. Then a couple times he asked to scratch his nose again. He would tell us, he said, I'm going to scratch my nose again. And then next thing I know, it's like, pow, you know, and you know, it kind of started you like, and the whole time my finger is down the side, you know, because as it went on, a couple of times he kept saying, he said, man, he keep pointing that gun at me, talking about Adam. He said, he keep pointing that gun at me, you know. Now, I didn't say nothing. Then he was more worried, whatever. And then next thing I know, I heard a pop, you know, and he had just scratched his nose and put his hand back up there, and it just happened so fast. And I'm like, when it shot, I'm like to myself, who the fuck shot? You know? I knew it wasn't him. And then when it shot, it went pow. And then for an instant, and then when the shot went off, first I thought it was a rifle. I said, no, that's not a rifle. And because Torres was right here, he wasn't far from me. And it was loud. And he go, ah! When he got shot, he was like, ow! And I kind of saw him, you know, do like this. And as he went back, he just went back. And as he was going back, he shut the door. Boom. I just heard boom. Now, I couldn't tell if he went to the floor. Because they asked me, the hostage negotiator asked me later, because he saw me up there, hey, did he fall? I said, I don't know. And then I said, hey, an officer fired, he's hit. And I kind of figured, should I say, it looked like in the stomach or whatever. And then we moved. Adam was behind me. And he said, because I said, who shot? He said, I did, I'm sorry. And he says, he moved his hand down to his waist. I said, I didn't see that, you know, and I never took my eye off of it. I'm like, and I said, you okay? He said, you okay? I said, I'm fine, you know, a little pumped up. I'm like, he said, man, my wrist. He said his wrist was hurting. I don't know if it was from where he was holding it, but he said, I jammed my wrist or something. And he kept making look. I said, Bree. He said, oh man. I said, you're gonna be okay. Okay, we gotta deal with this. You're gonna be okay. And he's like, man, you know. He said, I'm sorry. I'm like, you're gonna be okay, Torres. We deal with this. You know. He said, I'm sure. I said, you're gonna have to do all that. You're fine. Just deal with that. You deal with it. Then he made a comment because I was like, he said, you okay, just Bree? I said, I'm good. He even patted me on the shoulder. I said, I'm okay, because I was pissed, but then like, what the hell just happened here? You know. He said, did you see it? I said, no. That's all I said. I didn't like, man, what the fuck? Why did you do that? That wasn't time for that. It wasn't. But I was also trying to calm him down. He was concerned about me. You know, he said, you all right, man? And he said, because I wouldn't really say anything to him because we're watching the door and we need to. And he said, man, I know I'm going to have to talk to I. I said, yeah, we all are. He said, they're going to take my gun. I said, yeah, they're going to do all that. You know, because he don't know.
Right.
And then he made a comment that he said, man, I did have an argument with my wife before I came to work. You know, I'm saying to myself, you know, I didn't say, hey, I said, man, you're going to be okay. Just deal with this.
What do you think he meant by that? Or did he say what he meant?
No, I mean, I guess he was just trying to give reason that. Now, in my mind, I'm like, what the hell just happened here? You know? And I could tell he was shaken up.